about 10 years ago, my mom started dating this dude. It might have been longer than that. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think it was longer than that. But their relationship wasn't always that great. But, you know, for the most part, they hung in there with each other. And when we moved to Arizona from Chicago a few months later, he moved with us. And, you know, it was cool. You know, it was all right. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't that great. So one day, I'm just sitting in the house, chilling with this chick I was talking to at the time. We was watching a movie. You know me. You know what I was trying to do. So we just sitting there, you know, trying to have us a little quality time. And then I hear a dude come running through the house yelling after they get home from work. And he said something crazy, but I wasn't really paying attention. And I hear my mom yelling right behind him. And then I'm like, okay, they argue all the time. It's not a big deal. So he goes to walk towards his room. And I just see my mom running down the hallway. And then she like, Luke Kane kicked his ass in the back. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? And I'm dead ass. She went running down the hallway and she just jumped in the air and kicked the dude in the back. And I didn't know why. So I jumped up and went over there and grabbed my mom like, yo, like, what's going on? Why you kick him? So I snatched my mom up like, you know, mom, like, what's going on? What is going on? And she said, he said some real foul, disrespectful shit to me and I'm not having it. And I was like, what? Like, what'd he say? And she goes, some money came up missing and he tried to blame it on you. And I'm like, what? Now look, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm a mama's boy. And anything I ever wanted from my mom, if she has it, she gives it to me. No questions asked. She give it to me. She don't ask me for money back or whatever. She gives it to me. It's no problem. So I've never in my life had to steal anything. So I was kind of offended by it, but I didn't pay it no mind because, I mean, he says stuff like that all the time. So she's like, yeah, he said you stole the money. And she told him pretty much what I just told y'all. I don't have to steal. She'll give me whatever I want. So he tells her, well, you need to stop sucking your son's dick. And I'm like, what? So I laughed. I was you know me, like, chill, stop tripping. You tripping. So he walks off after they argue a little bit more and he leaves the house. So I calm my mom down. She goes smoke her cigarette in the garage. She just chilling. And I go back to doing what I'm doing on the couch, just chilling, watching a movie with the chick. So she's sitting there looking like, oh, yo, this crazy. Like, cause she had been over there a few times, but not a whole lot to, you know, kind of know what's going on. So this is the kind of stuff you don't kind of want to unfold around like new people. So he leaves and then he comes back like 30 minutes later. He comes back and the first thing he does when he comes back is to go and sits on the kitchen countertop and he's over there looking at me like this. So I'm sitting there looking at him as he's looking at me all crazy, shaking his head and shit. And I'm sitting up there thinking like, what the fuck is he thinking? Why is he shaking his head? Like, fuck you looking at me like that for? I'm like, what? Like, really, what's going on in his head? I imagine it was probably something like this. Mom.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Call for your mama.
I don't know what the dude was over there thinking, but whatever the case may have been, it gassed him up because for some reason, he felt like he was gonna try me that day. So he gets up, walks towards the room and says something under his breath. He mumbled it or whatever. So he goes in the room and closes the door. And I'm just sitting there laughing like, okay, this nigga tripping. I ain't even worried about it. I'm gonna keep watching this movie with Shorty. Not gonna be a problem. So he in the room talking shit. I hear him talking shit. Not a problem. He comes up, back out the room, opens the door, says some wild shit. And I think I heard it, what he said, but you know, I had to confirm what he said before I got up and knocked this nigga out. So I get up and walk to the door. And then this dude says to me, you heard what I said? I ain't repeating myself. Now get away from my door. So I'm just standing there in amazement like, yo, like, this a new nigga today. Like, he really tried me. I don't know what he was thinking over there, but he really charging me up right now. This ain't the dude I know behind this door. The dude behind that door that I know is scary. But for some reason, he real tough today. So I said, you know what? We gonna take it there. So I proceed to beat on the door. I'm just trying to chill and get some ass, and this nigga wanna start tripping. Hey. What'd you say, man? Come out here so we can talk about this, man. I heard you. I think you called me a pussy or something, man. Come out here so we can confirm this. We can talk about this. Just come on, man. So I'm gonna knock your ass out, then we'll go back to doing what I was doing. So I knock on the door for a few more minutes. Then he finally decides to come out the room. And then he says this stupid shit to me. I ain't scared of you, little nigga. I said you was a pussy. Now what you gonna do about it? So, like I told y'all earlier, out of respect for my mom, when they argue or they get into it, I stay out of it. Or I'll never talk shit to her dude or try and fight him. But when he said that to me, yo, that was the green light. I was standing at the door like this. So at this point, I pretty much blacked out because I swung on the dude and didn't even realize I swung on him. And when I finally came back to, you know, what was really going on, I'm looking at the dude and he's like literally in the wall. Like, I'm not bullshitting, I'm not exaggerating. I punched this dude so hard, he went through the drywall. Like, I'm not lying to y'all, like, kid y'all not. Like, the next time I do a vlog, I'm gonna ask my mom, I'll ask my cousin, I'll even ask his own son. His own son will tell you. The nigga went through the wall. I'm not playing, no jokes. This is not for entertainment. This shit really happened. So I'm looking down at the dude or whatever, and I'm like, yo, did I really put this nigga through the wall? And there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, how the fuck hard did I punch this dude? He's sitting in the wall, like he's laying in the wall on the floor. And he finally wakes up like 20 seconds later, and he says this:
You going to jail now, nigga. That's 1 down and 3 to go.
So when he said that, I just started laughing. And y'all probably sitting up there thinking like, 1 down, 3 to go. What the fuck does that mean? So my brother and my sister don't like this nigga. They talk shit to him all the time. My little brother, who's like 6'6", almost 6'7", like 250, 260, something like that. Punked the shit out of him one day. So I guess he wanted all of us to go to jail. I guess he figured I was about to get a felony or something for knocking his ass out, but no, nigga. I was in jail for like a day and a half, but we're gonna get to that. So he gets up, run through the house, bleeding, and I'm like, ah, shit, man. I was supposed to be sitting here getting some ass. Now I'm about to go to jail because he want to be a bitch. So at this point, I know I'm about to go to jail. So I say, let me go get prepared. Now, mind you, I've never been to jail before, but I always hear stories about how cold it is in jail. So I went in the room, put some jeans on, put some socks on, put a sweater on and a t-shirt under that sweater. I was prepared, so I went, sat back down on the couch with my mom, and my mom's laughing like crazy about it. She keep talking about it. And the girl I was with, she's just sitting there quiet. So we just kept watching this little movie. I don't remember what movie we was watching. So like an hour goes by, and then we hear a knock at the door. And we see flashlights flashing through the front of the house. So I'm like, ah, shit. Your boy really about to go to jail. So the police come in the house. One of them pulled me outside, and he starts asking me questions. He asked me what happened, and then I proceed to tell him everything that happened word for word. And he was fucking with your boy. He was like, all right, you're not gonna go to jail, don't worry about it. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm like, yeah, I knocked this nigga out finally, and I ain't gotta go to jail. So I'm just like, for sure. But yeah, it didn't happen like that. Police officer that I was talking to, he went and talked to the other guy, the other police officer. So he was like, he told him the story. He's like, what you want to do? Then the other police officer came back to me and told me to tell him the story. I told him the exact same thing. So they called like the captain or whoever the hell it is, lieutenant or something, and let him know what's going on and see if he can come out. He couldn't come out. So for some reason, he told them to take us both to jail. So I was pissed, like thinking I got off. I was about to go back in the house. I done knocked this dude out. I'm about to get some ass. And it didn't work out like that. So they put me in handcuffs. And they was cool about it. They didn't put the handcuffs behind my back. They just put them in the front or whatever. And the police officer that I initially talked to, he's like, I'm sorry you got to go to jail, but this is what my boss want me to do. So I'm gonna put you in the car, but I'm not gonna put the handcuffs behind you. I'm just like, all right, man, fuck it, let's go. So I got in the car. I was sitting there. This is the first time I ever been to jail. And mind you, I grew up in Chicago. Never once did I go to jail out. But when I get to Arizona, I go to jail. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, all right, I knocked him out. We both got to go to jail. So it's not too bad. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So as they're sitting out on the car talking, the police officer didn't want to let me go, he's like sitting up against the car. And then out of nowhere, this motherfucker farts. And he starts laughing real hard. And then he goes, oh, did you hear that? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I heard it and I felt it. It vibrated through the whole car. I was so mad. Like, I got to go to jail and then you farting on the door and the window down and shit. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, now I got to smell that shit. Come roll my window up. So as we ride into jail or whatever, dude talking to me, they both cool. They was cool as shit. Other than the fact the dude farted damn near in my nose. They was cool. So they took us to this one little jail. They did the paperwork. Then they took us downtown and I was in jail for like a day and a half. Took a nigga shoestrings. And then when you go in the back, they make you take, when you see on TV and they make you take off all your clothes and spread your butt cheeks and squat and cough and all that other crap, like you really got to do that. And this dude made me take off all my clothes. And then there's this black lady standing behind me and she just smiling and shit. Like what you looking at? Like you looking at dick and balls or something? Like why you standing back there smiling? Like stop smiling so hard. Like go and do something else, man. You making me feel creepy as hell. Like just get the hell away from me. So they finally give me my clothes back. Took your boy's shoestrings. Then I had to go take the mugshot. And they took my phone. And then I sat there in handcuffs for like another 30 minutes listening to my mom's boyfriend talk about stupid shit. And he's sitting there, man, why'd you do this? You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do this. We shouldn't be here. We should be at home relaxing like a family. Nigga, I ain't your family. But now you want to relax. You the one who called the police. I was chilling. Like if I would have took an L, I would have just took an L. I wouldn't have got up and called the police. And what made makes it so bad, like, he didn't even swing one time. The dude didn't swing once. I hit him once, he went through the wall, he got up and ran. It's like, come on, man. And then he's in jail talking about, yeah, I pay his mama bills, I pay his bills, I pay his grandma bills. No, nigga, you don't. You don't. Just stop. And like I told y'all earlier, he lies for a conversation. The police had to tell him to shut up because he was talking so much. So we finally get in jail, in the jail cell or whatever. They put him in a different jail cell because obviously we were fighting, so we don't need to be in the same cell together. So I'm kind of like, you know, like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what to expect other than what I see on TV. So it's like 30 fucking dudes in this little ass room, and there's 2 toilets. So I'm sitting there, and I just go sit in the corner, I'm chilling, and I'm sitting up here thinking like, man, am I gonna have to fight a nigga in here? It didn't happen like that. So I was just chilling, people was talking like, yo, what you in here for, blah, 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 whatever. I told them, and everybody was cool. But then there's this one dude, he was like a bum or something. I don't know what was wrong with his feet, but he had all this black shit on his feet. So for some reason, he wrapped tissue all around his feet, and it just looked nasty. Like the black shit was seeping through the tissue, and then he was smelling bad. It was just bad. And then for some reason, some dude felt the need to get up and go take a shit in a room with 30 dudes. Like, he was fucking it up, man. It was bad, man. Like, I don't know. They could have opened the door for a minute, and one of the guards could have stood right there, get that fucking smell out of there. It was so bad. And then he ain't have no tissue because the fucking bum was using the tissue as a pillow. And I'm just like, what? Like, get your ass up, man. That nigga need to wipe his ass. Give him some tissue. Don't give him the first couple layers because you was laying on it, but give him some tissue, something. And these dudes just didn't give a damn. People was in there shitting all night long. Like, man, I ain't never been around this many people that got a shit and they ate nothing. Like, why y'all shitting so much? So I finally get through the night, and then they come and bring us food or whatever. So they bring the food in, and I'm like, for sure, your boy hungry, I get to eat. I didn't eat before I left that night or whatever. And they bring this food in, and it's like bologna sandwiches and ham sandwiches on like some kind of roll or something. And then they gave us these little juices and like an orange. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, is this what y'all eat in prison? Nigga, I ain't ever coming back to prison just based off of this food. Like, I can't eat this shit. And then they had the nerve, like the sandwich was so dry. Then they had the fucking nerve. I'm like, yo, like, y'all don't have no mayonnaise, no mustard, nothing. This nigga gave me a jelly packet. Like, the fuck? Bologna and jelly? Who eats this shit? So I just gave it to somebody else. I just kept a little juice, drunk the juice, didn't even want the orange. I just like, here, y'all can have it. I'm not eating this shit. So they finally called my name later on that day to go see the judge. I go see the judge. He tells me charges are dropped. They're not gonna file any charges. I'm like, for sure. I'm about to get out of here. So they take me and put me in another cell, the release cell. But I didn't know, it's like 4 or 5 of these motherfuckers before you finally get out. So they transferred me to like 4 or 5 different cells. And then the last cell we got in, 2 dudes started fighting in the last cell. Like, y'all about to get out of jail. What y'all fighting for? Go outside. If y'all want to fight when y'all get home or something. Go outside somewhere else. We about to get out and y'all fighting in this cell. They ended up having to go back in jail. So then they finally pull us out of that last cell. And it's like 10 or 15 of us. And they're asking everybody their address. So they give them the right information and, you know, they give them the right wallet and IDs and stuff. So there's this one fucking dude who don't know his address. How do you not know the address on your ID? So we stood there for another 10 or 15 minutes while he trying to figure out where the hell he lived. So I'm sitting there hot. I ain't got no shoestrings in my shoe. I ain't got my belt on. And then they lost my belt. They didn't know what they did with my belt. So we do finally know his address. We get outside of the police station. It's like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. My phone is dead, so I can't call nobody. So I walk to the McDonald's around the corner, no shoestrings in, asked him to use the phone, called my aunt. My aunt came and picked me up, took me to Subway, man. I felt like, you know, I had just got home, like I just did a bid, like I was in there like 10 years. I was like, oh, you all right? Are you okay? Like I was only in jail for a day, like just chill. So I got me a little Subway, and then my aunt dropped me off at home. So somehow my mom's boyfriend had got out of jail before I did. I don't know, he had got out of jail like a day before I did, or maybe like 10 or 15 hours. I don't know why I keep saying 10 or 15, but he got out early. So he got out early, and then I'm in the house eating, and he come back in the house and he walking back and forth looking all scared and shit, looking at me. So then he calls my mom in the room and he said something to her, and then he goes, yeah, I don't feel comfortable with him here. I don't know if he's gonna try and fight me or some other bullshit. So I'm just like, you know what, man, I just got out of jail. I am not about to go back. So yeah, I'm just gonna go to my grandma's house. I'm gonna stay over at my grandma's house for a little while because I don't want to knock this dude out again. And yeah, I just ended up staying at my grandma for a long ass time. I think I stayed over there for like a year or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how your boy went to jail. That's what happened. It was a pretty fucked up experience. It wasn't bad, but you don't want to go to jail. Don't go to jail. Don't do stupid shit to go to jail. And if you're gonna fight somebody, you gotta understand the consequences that come with it. I didn't think he was gonna be a bitch and not swing at least once and, you know, get up and call the police on me, but I kind of backfired on him because we both went to jail. But, you know, whatever, shit happens. But yeah, that's how I went to jail.